Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that just as a maid who comes to take nanny, who comes and takes care of the baby, if this nanny is married and if she has a child of her own in her place, what will happen? She does everything to this baby uh, whom she is taking care of. Everything. She will give milk, she will give food, she will take the baby out to play, she will give her entire self, because basically she is a mother. But she knows very well that this is not my baby. My baby is one at home. Likewise, when we do perform this work, we must give 100%. But heart in heart, we must know that this is a temporary arrangement, and this is a real philosophy actually. My job is to practice karma yoga and get out of this. Actually, it is as okay. Sorry for this interruptions. So the whole meaning of that is that we must be doing our duties, but not with an attachment, not with the delusion, not with the belief that this is going to be permanent, this is what. So we are all hypnotized. Swami Vivekananda says it is a time when you start your spiritual journey to get, you should be dehypnotized. We are all hypnotized, because what is a hypnosis now? This house, this family, this duty, this work and everything. That is the hypnotism. We feel we belong to this place only, and we are going to, we know we are going to die, but we hardly think of death, and we think this is a permanent. Because of that feeling, we suffer. Because we think of that this is what it is, and these are all my own people, these friends are mine, these relatives are mine, my aunt is mine, everything. But somewhere something goes wrong, then we go through a lot of depression. So he says, get over that moha kalilam. Arjuna was refusing to fight because of this moha only, because he was very much attached to his uncles, aunts, everybody, and he is not able to see beyond, just like us. But Krishna makes him see, and he says, see, these are all temporary, they are going to die. You and I, again we are going to take birth. They are just they are all Atmana Swarupa. They are manifestation of the Atma. And now as per Dharma, you have to kill them. So because of Moha, Arjuna was unable to take action. Because of Moha, Dhritarashtra was unable to correct Duryodhana. Because of Moha, we all suffer. So now Krishna is saying, when you start practicing this Karma Yoga, Yada, when that Moha, Kalilam, that Moha like a quicksand, Kalilam is called quicksand only, it seems. That's the meaning. So buddhi goes above that. Buddhi vyatitirisha tada gantasi nirvedam shrotasya shrutasya cha. What is the meaning of that? When your intellect crosses this delusion, then you will acquire indifference to Shrotasya Shrutavya means that Krishna is saying, whatever you have heard, whatever you are hearing means what are we hearing every day? Just the routine things. Okay. And whatever has been told, whatever you are hearing, Shrotavyasya Shrutasya cha. Shrotavya means what is yet to be heard, and Shrutasya means what has been heard. So then you will become totally indifferent to what has been heard and what is going to be heard. In other words, it is exactly dehypnotizing. You will understand that whatever I have heard and I have been brought up means, no, I am not complaining about parents, but the things that happen usually in our samsara, in this world, that is nothing. That is transient, and it is not the absolute truth. And whatever is being told in future also, that also will not be there. Mostly what will be told about samsara, about what you have to do, what you should not do. Along with that, some kinds of gossips may come, some bad things may be told. Apart from that, what will happen is they also talk about certain rituals. And here in Bhagavad Gita, many times Krishna refers to the Vedas and the Karma Kanda. So they say, do this, you will get this benefit. Do this, you will get more papa, like that. We would be trained or we would be hypnotized on certain things which don't make any meaning as far as our development is concerned. So Krishna is saying that once you get out of this moha, then you will understand what is the true learning, what is the true jnana. So getting out of this moha is one of the important things which buddhi yoga will bring. Buddhi yoga, the intellect will illumine, as it were, it will illumine, it will brighten, and it will bring you out of that, and it will remove the wheel of moha. It will remove the wheel of moha. You can see things very, very clearly. When the moha goes, no, you will see the things very clearly. You also, this week you start, next week exercise, you can just think, where to what am I drawn so much? I just what is that apart from family? Is there any profession? Family is a must. Children, maximum moha is with children only. So just try to see that you love your children, love your spouse, love your job, love your home. Love is different, but not with the so much of attachment. Try to go beyond that, try to visualize, and then see whether you can come over it. Very, very difficult, but you can make an attempt, just like you are doing karma yoga. How does it come out? Because when you start thinking that my greatest relationship is with God, and all other relations are good as manifestation of God. You cannot condemn. You cannot say, this is not my child, this is not my husband, this is not my wife, nothing like that. But if you can think them as the divine manifestation, then you will develop a different kind of attachment. That is the spiritual attachment. That is what is required. Alright. So that is about this shloka. They say that when your intellect is developed, then it will cross. Buddhi yoga will take you beyond this moha, and then you will see things with clarity. Isn't it? Moha would have covered certain things. It would have blocked. Okay. Shruti vipratipanna te यदास्थ्यास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि. So he says, again now he comes to clearly, he says Shruti is Vedas. So when your buddhi, when your yadasthyasyati nishchita, when your intellect stops getting influenced by the Shruti. Shruti means Vedas, fruitful actions of Vedas. As I told you, Putra Kameshti Yajna, all those yajnas are there, no? Which Vedas say that if you do this, you will get this fruit. If you perform this yajna, you will go to Swarga. Like that. When your intellect says, I am no longer interested in these kinds of results. I want to go beyond that. Beyond that means jnana. So, and then when you remain steadfast, when you remain totally steadfast, nishchita, nischala, when you remain steadfast in the divine consciousness, and samadha vachala buddhihi, when it fixes in a state of samadhi or unperturbed steadfast mind, then you will achieve yoga. Yoga means to be one with the God. So again he says, he is talking about the way people are influenced or they are allured. That means in the Vedic Pandits or the Vedas, at that time it was like that because that was for the benefit of mankind. It was not against mankind. It was for the benefit. But they do affect, they are useful. As I told you, rituals cannot be condemned. But that is not all. That is what Krishna is trying to say. In a kind of moha, no? You want Swarga, why? You want to enjoy. You want children, why? You are still in this worldly thing which says that having a child is going to bring you so much of prosperity, so much. So all that is moha. So when you understand this, when your intellect, buddhi starts telling this is not it, what you need to go is beyond that. At that time, even if you have heard the Vedas and the what Vedas, the rituals prescribed by Vedas are going to tell, you will go beyond that. And at that point of time, your mind becomes very beda. I don't want this. Siddheshwar Swamiji in Bijapur, no, very famous, very well-known saint, unmarried. He wouldn't wear the orange robes, but when he came to speak about yoga, about a philosophy, spiritual things on the stage in Hubli, thousands of people used to come from villages. He used to make it very simple also, but basically he was a jnani. So he was offered some Jnanapita Prashasti, and I think Padma Vibhushana, so many awards he was given. He refused all of them. He refused all of them because he was like this only. He was always situated in a state of that super consciousness. Similarly, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also. Always he is there because always is Kama Kanchana. Kama Kanchana. Never go after Kama Kanchana. Kama is desire and lust that goes beyond the purview of your social boundaries. That means going, that time people used to have lot of, immoral things used to happen in the city of Calcutta and around. So he used to tell, have good relation with your wife, not go beyond. So kama, do not amass wealth. So like that, when these people had got beyond they came beyond the clutches of moha, then they were always, because of that, Sri Ramakrishna used to be in a state of samadhi. Samadhi, always. If you read his, please read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you will come to know. In between, he'll be talking to people and suddenly he will go into a state of trance. And he doesn't speak anything other than spiritual things. Once two women were sitting on the bank of that Ganga there, and then he goes there, and then it's a Kali temple, and they have come there as devotees, and when they get some time, they're just gossiping about their family affairs. Sri Ramakrishna gets so upset. He goes there and he fires them left and right. He says, why have you come here? Andre, for Ramakrishna 24/7 it used to be in that state. But for others, like how we went for a trip and on the way back we put some film songs. We cannot be in singing only bhajans throughout, isn't it? So of course, it depends on people. So one of them said, no ma'am, please put some, what's his name? Some Kannada famous singer is there, Hegde is there. So we put his like that, but people who are already established, who go beyond all this, for them it is always, they cannot come down, okay? So that is, so they say, when you go beyond the teachings of Vedas, then you will understand, you will get out of that moha, and then you will be established in yoga, yogama vapsyasi, okay? You will attain perfect state of yoga. That is what Krishna says. That means we should go beyond the rituals, beyond the customs and traditions. Not that we should not practice, but we can practice, but you should be aware that this is not the end. The goal is still far away. But if you see even danas, yajna dana tapas, Krishna says in further chapters, people do dana, so many things else, but that is not the only thing. That is one of the things. Dana is very good. Actually, that's a part of our responsibility. We should do dana and all. That's okay. But what he says is, if you do dana, you will get this. Don't go by that. Dana is purification of mind. Dana should not be with an expectation that if I do this dana, then Ayushya Arogya Belitude. Hange adalla. It will, Ayushya Arogya will come. There is no doubt about it. But don't do dana for that purpose. So that these are the things, concepts which Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to believe in and go beyond that. Doesn't say not to believe, it says go beyond that. It is only up to one certain stage. Alright. Now, after having said all this, Arjuna, being a very devoted Shishya, very devoted student for Lord Krishna, and he has heard him everything, now some confidence starts coming into his mind, and now he questions Krishna. Beautiful shloka once again. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sithadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. See, now Arjuna understood that there is something which I need to go. What is that Krishna is telling? Practice Buddhi Yoga, practice Karma Yoga. You have to be conscious about the presence of Atma and your body and mind, and Arjuna's personality is temporary. All that he says, get over the moha. Now Krishna comes to a very valid point. He says, Keshava, O Keshava, what is Sthita Prajna? Sthita Prajna means Sthita. Sthita is calm and fixed without any perturbations. Sthita, it is living there. What is living? Prajna. What is sthita prajna? What is the state when the consciousness is fixed, is to not at all disturbed, and it is fixed when the mind is fixed in consciousness? How do we attain that sthita prajna? Sthita prajna. Prajna should be sthita. It should be living where it should be living. Our consciousness. It should be living in super consciousness. So he is asking, what is that sthita prajnata, and how does sthita he is intellect. So sthita means, as I said, it is fixed. It's not going to move. It's fixed in that highest altar. So one whose intellect has reached that stage, how does he talk? How does he sit? How does he move around? What are his attributes? Beautiful, he says. That means a person who has realized, who is already gone to that state, what are his characteristics? Because he wants to know, can I achieve that state? Arjuna is yet to achieve. Alright. So these are the questions he asks. Now to that, why he has asked is, see, Krishna has created that interest. He has created that interest, and Arjuna is all curious to understand. That is the greatest attribute of a student, and he has all faith in the teacher. You can question, but you should not start getting disturbed and trying to judge your teacher. If that is the case, then it doesn't flow. They say the knowledge doesn't flow from a teacher to a student if the student does not have that much of faith, that much of surrender, that much of trust on the teacher, and willingness to give all his attention, concentration. So with all that, he had that, and Krishna went on telling, and Arjuna started receiving it. He has received, and that has encouraged him, inspired him to ask this question. So then somebody wants to join. 1 second. I'm not able to let them in. How is it happening? 1 second. No? So he asks, what is Sthita Prajna? What is Sthita Dhi? How does this person who has Sthita Prajna, how does he how does he talk? How does he behave? Let me know more about that, so that these are people whom we should consider them as a role model, isn't it? So he says these are the questions which Arjuna asks. So to that Krishna says very beautifully, Shri Bhagavanuvacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogataan atman yevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. Prajahati yada kaman. Kama is desire, what we have discussed now. Prajahati is he gives up. Prajahati yada when a person gives up all the desires, manogatan, which arise out of mind. Obviously all the desires arise out of mind. So and then atmaiva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. After giving up, and why does he give up? Because he is happy with himself, with his own atma. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. He is happy with his own. That is, when his mind settles inside and he is happy being himself with and connects with his atma and spending time with that atma, or what I should say, his mind, intellect, everything gets merged with that atma, then we call that state as sthita prajnata. So prajahati, so everything amounts to these desires. When our mind goes for externalization, I would say this kama is, one is possessions, the second one is the lust, the third one is, apart from possession, our expectations from each and every person, that he should behave like this circumstances should be like this, my house should be like that, I should have everything arranged like this. Each and every expectation is a karma. Each and everything which you want, which will satisfy your ego, is a karma. And in that, of course, the lust will come. That means the bodily desire. So bodily desire will and the desire for possession, desire for qualification, all these are a great binding which will move your mind away from the connection with your Atma. So as long as you are in the external world and you believe that, and without, as you all started already practicing, if this continues, then you will enjoy much more higher state than the enjoyment or the pleasure which we get by interacting in the outer world. This is the very highest state and long way to go. We can take baby steps. But when you reach there, you become Sthita Prajna. Your consciousness gets established and never it will come down. Never ever. Because you have constantly put an effort by Prajahati Yada Kaman. I have taken away all my desires. So it's very difficult to take away all the desires, because without having small desires, the life will not go ahead. You can have desires again and again. We will repeat these things because entire Bhagavata and Bhagavad Gita is because of this, because all human suffering is because we expect. Then isn't it the human tendency that we should expect? Yes, you should expect, but much more than that, before expectation, if you divert, just like we said karma yoga, no, do not focus on the actions, focus on the effort. Likewise, now I will tell you, if we can focus our mind before we expecting from others, if we can focus our mind and think what we have already, what we have, oh my God, I have 2 hands, I have 2 legs, I can talk, I have money, I have a good husband or children, I have a house to stay. If you list down, you will find that you have so much with you, but we are not satisfied. We are discontented. That is why our desire, that's why we keep on asking. As we keep on asking, that means we are discontented. We are not happy because our mind is there, not here. In one of my sessions in the previous batch, in my mother also was there. I was telling everybody, let us write down what we have. You can also do that exercise. Today you write down, what do we have at present? What is that good thing we have? This is exactly the positive thinking. What do we have? Are we remembering that, and how many times do we express a gratitude to the nature or to the Lord for having given this? This only is going towards Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. The person who wishes to become Sthita Prajna, he, rather than generating those desires again and again, he will go inwards and he will start thanking. First is to get human birth. We must be grateful to God that we have got this human birth. Human beings. I told you one song, no? 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಏಸು ಕಾಯಂಗಳ ಕಳೆದು 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜೀವರಾಶಿಯಿಂದ ದಾಟಿ ಬಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ನಾನಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನದಲ್ಲ, ನಾನಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನದಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬಾಹುದಲ್ಲ, ದಾಸನಾಗು ವಿಶೇಷನಾಗು, ದಾಸನಾಗು ವಿಶೇಷನಾಗು. 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಅಂದರೆ 84 lakhs, that means 8.4 million species we have crossed and we have come as a human. This is like Darwin's theory only. Darwin, I don't know how many he says, but our ancient scientists have told that we have crossed so many species, and after that we have got this human body. Can you look at those species? Every day they die. The lower species animals, every day they are dying, every day they are suffering. Survival itself is a big thing. From there, if you start, you are born as a human, you are born to good parents or decent you live, don't judge them. Decent parents, they have given birth to you, you have siblings, you have children, you have spouse, you have a job. All of us who are here, We have all this. We have a shelters to stay. ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ನಾವು ನೆನೆಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನೆನೆಸದೆ ಹೋದರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದೋಸ್, ದೆನ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ more. Why am I still here? Why am I not promoted? Why did I not get the hike? Why did I not make so much of mutual funds? Why did everything? If you make a list, then you will have n number. But if you make a list on this side, then also you have a long number. I can guarantee you, you can write 100 things. Let me give this assignment for this week. Write down all the blessings you have, grace, whatever you have got so far in your life. Please make a list of that. Let me see how many you can make. How many you can, starting from having a good body. We are not physically disabled. With due respect to those who are disabled, because they are performing extraordinarily. So they can also write positive things. As of now, we are not disabled. We didn't have that challenge. Starting from there, please make a list of things which we have already got from God, and to which every day I will put that list in front of God and say, thank you God, you have given me so many things. So if we do that, no, then tushti comes. Tushti is satisfaction. It is contentment. When we are contented with, because if you compare, there is no end, isn't it? If you want to compare this car, then goes to SUV, then goes to another one, then you go to BMW, then you go to that one, then you want to have a helicopter, whatever. So there is no end for that. So let's not go there. Let's again and again keep thanking God. Put that list in front of us. That's more than enough for us to get out of the misery. For us to get out of the misery, that is more than enough. So Prajahati, so Krishna says, he who gets over, controls Allah. He gets over those desires. I would not say control. Two commentators have said, let's not use the word control. Let's say we observe our mind and get over that. It's called transcending over your desires. So when one discards all and desires, even if you have, as I said, we cannot live without desires. Let them be selfless desires. Let them be directed towards our growth, to see God, to listen about Him, to talk about good things with our students, to talk about personality development, to give them the knowledge which they help again to thousands of people, to make them not corrupt. So these are all good desires only. As Kavita was saying, preparing a very good topic for the session. All these desires we can have, as long, but we must not be bound by that, and we must take that we are the only instruments. Then next, this is one of the attribute. One more he says, dukkeshvanudvignamanaha sukeshu vigatasprahaha vitaragabhayakrodhaha sthitadhir muniruchyate. Sthitadhihi munihi uchyate means munis, the rishis call this person as sthitadhihi. His intellect is sthita, it's balanced, it's at that highest altar. What is that? Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha. This person doesn't become perturbed. Udvignate means becoming very anxious. Udvignate is, it is shown on your, whenever you face distress, dukkha, misery. Everybody goes through misery. What is misery? When things don't go as per your wish, we become unhappy, isn't it? The ground reality is we are expecting that everything should go according to us. Of course, there are some great disasters. I am not talking about that. But majority is we become unhappy when things don't go according to us. So when this thing happens, Sthita Prajna, what he do? He does not become Udvigna. Udvigna means becoming very much involved in that, what I should say, disturbed, so disturbed that it is seen on his face, it's seen on his body. So that much of expression, he doesn't do that. That means he faces it with lot of dignity and lot of strength. He doesn't allow himself to become udvigna. Sukheshu vigatasprahaha. And when he has happiness, last time also we discussed, when he has happiness, sukha, then he doesn't become again spruha. Spruha means again getting too much attached to that, or because a craving. One sukha bantu andre matte craving, I must get that again and again. I was so happy those days, I must get that again and again. What shall I do? Most of the people, we all are running after that. We are craving for state of happiness, but it is not that, it's not the reality. It will not stay, You should never expect like that. Very difficult, easy to say than to practice. But a person who is a sthita prajna, for him both are same. For him both are same. So that means whatever he gets in his life, he will accept it with lot of presence of mind, or I should say balanced state of mind. Again, if you can apply as God's prasad, then it becomes very easy, because our main goal will become attachment to God. And whatever he gives, ನೀನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಪ್ಪ ಸುಖಾನು ನಿಂದೆ ದುಃಖಾನು ನಿಂದೆ, ನೀನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಗಿರು, you be with me. This is the attitude they take, because they are fixed. Sthitaprajna means not only a jnani, person who follows jnana marga, he will go into that samadhi and all. A bhakta will always be like Bhakta Kumbhara, Mirabai. They are always singing the glories of, they are also Sthitaprajna. Whatever comes, okay. So, Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Vita means he gives up. Raga, again, attachment. Okay, Moha is delusion. Raga is so much of attachment. I want this house, I want this place, I want my car, I want to sit in this place every day. In the bus also we say, car also, I myself do that. I want to sit always on this side. We can, but if you cannot sit, then you should not get disturbed. You can prefer, you want to sit here, you sit. But due to some circumstances, you are not able to sit on you should not become so disturbed and start yelling and all that. So that kind of attachment should go. And bhaya, fear will go. When you practice all this, automatically you are not afraid. Why a spiritual seeker is not afraid? Because he knows that Lord will take care. As a bhakta, he knows Lord will take care. I am just an instrument, he will take care. Or if he is an Atma Jnani, Jnana Marga, this is all happening outside. Why should I be scared? Aham Brahmasmi, Shivoham Shivoham, I am Satchidananda. This doesn't affect me at all. Where is the question of Bhaya? In both the ways you can get rid of this Bhaya. So Sthita Prajna, one who is associated with Atma Bhava, his Prajna, his consciousness is established, so he doesn't get perturbed. And you can observe such people also. Krodha, they are very, the anger, they hardly get disturbed, because they have no expectation. Their desire is only to be in that state. This materialistic interaction is very petty thing for them. Where is the question of Krodha? So Sthitadihi Munihi Uchyate. In other words, if we are to go towards that goal, if we are Allah, that is the goal. As we go towards that direction, we get peace of mind. And you will not find that all these, whichever you are craving for all these years, you are craving. It's not that we should not be ambitious. You should be ambitious, but you are craving. All the days we were craving. Nanu idagbeku, idadmele idu barbeku, professionally, personally. So that becomes reduced. You are happy. Okay, aito, ishtaitala, I have done so much, I have been given so much. Now it's okay. So when you are satisfied that way, then everything, then your desires will automatically reduce. When desires reduce, attachment comes down. And then when there is no desire, there is no question of fulfillment. Where is the anger? Anger comes when your desires are not fulfilled. When somebody comes on the way, some situations come on the way, when there is disappointment, you become angry. So those things automatically they start reducing, and mind becomes very, very calm and peaceful, and this mind gets fixed. Sthita dhihi munihi uchyate. This kind of man. Dukkha bantu parvaila. This too shall pass. Again, I will come back to that statement. And udvignatela. He may cry. Who will not cry? But he will come back to his normalcy in no time. Sukha. He will enjoy. But he is not overexcited. And he will not crave. Spraha means craving. He will not crave only for the happiness, because he is fixed in something which is beyond this. Are you able to get my point? He transcends Sukha and Dukkha. Both are same anta antane. It's not, as I said, not easy, but we can, I am sure by now we all have started understanding. That is the 56th shloka. Next one is Yaha sarvatra nabhisnehaha tat tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Again he is saying, he is describing the attributes. Tasya means his prajna is pratisthita, established, like Sthita prajna. whose prajna. Again he gives some more attributes. In the previous shloka he says when he is disturbed he is not so much emotional about it. When he gets sukha he doesn't crave for it, and atmaiva atmana tushtaha, all that he said. Now he says he sarvatran anabhisneha, with everybody he doesn't he is not attached to all the conditions, to none any of these conditions. He remains sarvatran anabhisneha. He is not attached to the place, the person or the thing. Place, person or thing. So anabhisneha, he doesn't make. If you take sneha as friendship also, he says, they say, commentators have beautifully said, this person, he is not a boring person. You will find him among, you may find them, if they are rishis then they wear those orange robes. Otherwise they may be among us. What they do is, when a person is needing your help, he needs his help, his friends or somebody, he goes out of the way to help him. And if he is in distress, he experiences the same distress. It's not that he is unemotional, he is concerned. He helps, he goes out of the way. So selflessly he is attached. That is called spiritual attachment. It is called sattvic attachment, because it will take him, he is already established, because he thinks we are all one and this body and mind is suffering, let me go. ಈ ಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ most of us are empathetic, isn't it? When somebody goes through distress, we also feel bad. If you feel bad, then you are an evolved person. So these people are also similar, but with that knowledge, with the knowledge that we are all manifestation of the same knowledge and experience. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ಅವನು ತುಂಬ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಹಿ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪೀಪಲ್. ಹಿ ಮೂವ್ಸ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ನೋ ಡೌಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ಮೂವಿ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ನೋ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಮೇ ವಾಚ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಹಿ ಮೇ ಎಂಜಾಯ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್. If he doesn't go to movie, doesn't get ticket, he is not disturbed. If he doesn't get that returns also, he is not. If his money goes and gets swept away also, not bothered. As long as and in the world he is always helpful to people and attached in a spiritual way, but not in the regular worldly attachment. He is not attached. Sarvatran anabhisneha tat prapya shubha shubham. If he gets shubha, then after that, if he gets prapya means if he gets shubha, he doesn't na abhinandati. Again we are talking about dualities. He doesn't become so delighted if he gets shubha, nor if he gets ashubha with somebody, then he doesn't get dejected, not dveshti. Neither he becomes so delighted nor dejected. This is talking about the duality. So such a person is a kind of a balance. You cannot call him as I told, let's not confuse such people. How will they interact with people? No, they interact in fact more livelier way. They are very lively people, they are always helpful, they also enjoy life, but only thing is they know when they have to withdraw themselves. The next shloka probably I think here only, they are known, they know how to detach themselves and not become totally entangled in among the people. So now here it comes, how do they practice this kind of detachment? He says one more shloka, prajna pratisthita, is yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. Here he brings the concept of a tortoise. He compares the what I should say, our material attachments, how we should withdraw ourselves. The person who is sita prajna, we are talking about the person who has achieved that, and we are going towards that path. So what does he do? So whenever he feels too much of disturbance of his mind by the external affairs, then he immediately withdraws. So imagine, just like a turtle or a tortoise, the tortoise has one head and four limbs and a tail. It seems when it sees a danger, it withdraws all these, the head, the tail and the limbs. So the other animals will not come to know that it is a living thing. They think that it is a stone. So likewise, when a person who is established in the Sthita Prajna and is blissful, joyful, enjoying, of such a person, no, when he finds in an atmosphere which is not conducive, let's say he goes to a place where everybody is boozing, dancing, he is invited for a party, and he doesn't believe in this kind of parties, but it's okay, he has to go. But they start talking, talking ill about others, or they try to push him or pull him. Sometimes they talk, you are too boring, you don't enjoy with us, ಆ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಆಗಿ ಅವನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೈವರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ he pulls himself. So what does he pull? He doesn't pull his hands and legs, we cannot pull. What does he pull then? How can he dissociate? What does he pull? Anybody? Any answers? What is this pulling inwards? Any answers?
Just not listening, ma'am.
Yeah, he's not listening. Yes.
Absence mind, maybe.
Correct.
Absence mind. Body present, mind absent.
Mind absent. So he will pull his, as you said, he will stop listening. He pretends to see, but he is not seeing. So he pulls all his indriya, sense organs, and he becomes indifferent to the place where he is in. Just as a tortoise withdraws indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. He withdraws them, and he pulls his mind along with those sense organs. So he pretends to be there, he may be smiling but not registering them, because tasya prajna pratisthita. He is firm, he knows what he wants, and he establishes himself in that state of mind. So that is the purpose. That is how we also, once we know what is our goal, where we should be, at this stage our prajna, our consciousness, let's say, let us put it at a higher, just like Mahatma Gandhi used to say, simple living, high thinking. So even if we cannot reach that state of self-realization, what we can do is, wherever things are not going in they are very low level, let's avoid that place, let's avoid that company. Or if you are forced to be in that company, be like this, withdraw. Because what happens is, with great difficulty the mind would have reached a certain stage. Person who has reached that samadhi sthiti, there is less chance of him coming down. But for people like you and I, we are struggling to go up, and suddenly if some people are there, some circumstances, they tend to pull you down. That pull is very strong. For example, if you take 2 steps up, that pull is so strong, you may go down 6 steps. So what happens is, you are at +2, -6, you come -4. That getting the 2 steps is very, very difficult actually. With great difficulty you have started remembering God, practicing this, maybe you will chant something. So you are trying to, this is how Krishna has designed this whole law of karma. Going up is very difficult. So being there, we must be there, we must not let anything drain our energies down. So you should be very careful. Food or talks or whatever you listen, whatever you see. Okay, but I am not saying, again, we are in the world of this technology. There are YouTube channels, there are reels, there is TV serials, and we have to see them. But do not, even if you want to watch a serial or something, do not let yourself watch some rubbish serial, even if it interests you, because we are in the path of Bhagavad Gita. No, without our knowledge, our mind becomes disturbed, and next time when you want to just chant or pray or meditate, mind becomes totally disturbed. So even if we are coming only 1 week, every week we come once here for Bhagavad Gita, so that mind also should be concentrated. If we get involved in others without our knowledge, no, we don't want to, but it can pull you. Next shloka is that only actually. So we must be like this tortoise, where we can withdraw our mind and all. Where you are in a company which doesn't interest you, but you should be there, just be there and come out, that's all. So we should practice this kind of withdrawal of our sense organs, not listening, not seeing. That way you have to follow. So the next one says, this way, now Krishna goes to one more. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drashtva nivartate. What does it mean? Vishaya vinivartante. So you have to, now he continues with the control of your senses, control of your sense organs. What are these sense organs? Eyes, ears, taste, tongue, and smell, and the body. So physical relationship or craving for some nice smell, nice food, always good things. So you have to restrain from, you have to control. So he says such people, I mean these Prajna Pratisthita, what we told, no? These people, once they start practicing all this, once you start practicing all this, what happens is you will stop feeding your senses. Like we told, no, Kurmangani, like tortoise. You don't like to enjoy that. You leave that place or you'll go to some other place. Like that, you have started controlling your senses. You are telling your mind, this is not good for me. Let me not go there. Let me go with this company. These girls are good for me. These people are good for me. Bhagavad-gita is good for me. Let me not go and watch serials rather than. So like that, when you start doing, no, that's called nirahara. Nirahara here, it doesn't refer. Some commentators talk about the food. But it's not that physical food for our stomach. Food is also for the eyes, ears, nose, like that. Food means what we listen, what we see. This is also food for the sense organs, apart from the real food what we take. So when you become nirahara, you are not nirahara means you are not feeding those sense organs, then you will be with restraint of all this, no? You will go to one stage, but at the same time, so there are two interpretations for this. You will start craving. More you control, more you start craving. But they say, however, this craving also gets away when param drishtva. Param means as you start controlling the sense organs, no, you somehow your mind goes higher and higher, and you will start getting glimpses of consciousness or super or Bhagavan, God's his what I should say, maybe you will start seeing the God's presence. So like that, you start getting glimpses. With that, this craving also will go. So when you become nirahara, no, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go here, you restrain. So sometimes the craving will start from within, because those which are cravings are within, no, means whatever. I'll give you one simple example. I'm very fond of watching movies. That is my weakness on the television. So I will say, okay, not entire day, instead of entire day, only for half an hour, I can continue tomorrow. If I restrict like that regularly, then my personality, my mind becomes more purer and purer. But because I'm controlling, there is a rebound effect. They may again pop up, because I was watching this TV because it was within me, that vasana from not today, it was there from so many births. That time TV may not be there, but watching something like this was my craving. It is not here as Pratibha, it was there, accounted in my ahankara, it was there in me. That will start erupting, it will not let you take that restraint. But more and more you start restraining yourself, then param, you will start seeing the God's action, divine, you will see the divine presence, because you have restrained, because you have controlled, you have observed your mind is not going here and there. So you can see the divine presence. With that, those cravings also will go. So that is the meaning of this. Then coming to the last shloka for today. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. In spite of all this, he says, Arjuna, the senses are so strong, indriyani pramathini, turbulent, that they can forcibly, they can haranti prasabham manaha, they can take the mind so far away into certain lower things that you will lose your control. Even for those who practice so much of self control, sometimes they can be misled forcibly. Haranti prasabham manaha. Even purushasya vipaschita. Even one who is very, like, even need not be sthitaprajna, who is so well controlled, even for him, because here The Indriyas can just pull you. That means we would have all controlled, practiced all this kind of tapas and everything. Suddenly, one fine day, we may be carried, because that comes as a rebound effect. So, Krishna is emphasizing in all these 10 verses the role of our sense organs, how to control them, so that we become established in Sthita Prajnata. There was one sage, especially for the last shloka. He I think his name is Saurabhi. There was a sage. He was very well controlled, and a lot of tapascharya he had done. And Saubhari, his name is Saubhari. He had done lot of tapas and he had got control. Control means what? Whatever they say will become a fact, miracle like. I want this bhasma. People do, So some people have that power. So that much he had acquired. But then one day, as he is doing this arghya, with the river, he sees two fishes mating. Sees a physical intercourse. Until then, he has controlled his senses. Suddenly, that kama starts in his mind. Then there is one king in Ayodhya. This happened in Ayodhya. It's Mandhata. His name is King Mandhata. So that king is performing a Swayamvara for 50 of his daughters. 50 daughters he had. He is performing a Swayamvara. This sage, he is an elderly person with a long beard. They used to live for thousands of years. So he approaches this king and he says, I want to marry your daughter. Then king is so surprised. What happened to this rishi? Has he gone insane or what? Because such a great person, and suddenly out of the blue he comes and asks, he wants to get married and all that. So because he feels so, the sage wants to enjoy that. Then the king is sure that no girl will marry, because he is very, he doesn't present himself as a Rajkumar or what, a prince or whatever. So he's sure that none of his daughters will agree. It is a Swayamvara. Swayamvara means the girl has to choose the boy of her choice among those who have assembled there. So many princes come from various states, and one of them is this rishi. This rishi is very clever. He uses his power and changes himself into a very handsome young man. And he sits there. He is the most handsome among all. He is liked by all the daughters, and all 50 get married to this one sage. And this sage, what happens is, now he has got 50 wives. He clones himself. Okay, he makes 50 clones of himself. So 50 forms of sages they enjoy with 50 daughters. They get so many sons, and they kind of build a city, it seems, with that big family of his wives and children and all that. Finally, after getting children, grandchildren, one fine day he becomes alert and he says, what is this I have done? What is this I have done? Oh my God, my thousands years of penance, tapas, has gone to dogs now. What shall I do? And again he prays God, and then he comes back to his senses, and then he goes back for his tapascharya. So these Indriyas are so powerful, they are so designed by the Lord Krishna himself, that any time, so you have to be aware, you have to be conscious, aware, so that you don't get driven by. So when that could disturb a sage of that stature, imagine we are all ordinary people. So every day in and day out we will have this kind of challenges, but always we need to control. At our stage, what we could do is tushti, contentment let us have. Let us not be driven by desires. I would suggest, let's focus on what we have. Let's keep on visualizing them. I have got such a beautiful house. I've got such a beautiful plant. I've got such a beautiful means good, I'm saying, not in terms of the physical appearance. Got such wonderful husband, such wonderful, whatever it is. Husband also, you make a list. What is good about him? And what are the same exercise will give men also. Let them also write. But we are all women here, so I am discussing. So write down. You will find so many good things. I bet we'll get so many good things. And if you compare also, you will say, oh, my husband is way better. My wife is so much better. So like that, we will do that, and then we will try to remain alert. We will not get driven by the lower things. We will try to keep our mind always higher. Sita Prajna will come. Let it come when it wants to come. At this stage, let us practice this, and that is an assignment on writing down all the positive things that God has given us. I asked one Swamiji, what is grace? He says grace is always there. Air is flowing, Water is there, space is there, and everything is there. If you take only Pancha Mahabhuta, 5 basic elements of creation, that is the air, the water, the space, the wind, and the fire. These are the 5 basic principles, Pancha Mahabhuta. So all these are here. Make best of it. That is a grace. So that means we have everything with us. Whatever we want to do, no, you want desire, no, you build it. Build it with whatever you have in a selfless manner, not only for you but for everyone. So that attitude if we have, then definitely we are going to be very, very peaceful. So let us try to balance the dualities. Let us transcend that, because our goal is not to get stuck in this what I should say, petty sukha dukkha. Pettiness is very trivial for us, this sukha dukkha. Let us try to get over it. Or even if we suffer, no, even if some insults happen, something happens in the department, at home, let us try to come back as early as possible with this kind of thoughts. All right. So that is for today. Any queries?